Yo, what's up everyone, and welcome back to Car Lust. Today, we're looking at 3 Chinese electric cars that could make some of the world's biggest car companies seriously uncomfortable. And before we start, I want you to guess something. How much do you think you need to spend to get a futuristic electric car with around 600, 700, or even more kilometers of claimed range, a huge battery, rapid charging, advanced driver assistance, giant screens, premium interiors, and enough performance to make some German sedans look a little nervous? $50,000? $40,000? Maybe $60,000? What if I told you that in China, some of these cars start at prices that can make a Tesla, BMW, Mercedes, or Audi look seriously expensive? That is exactly why the Chinese EV industry is becoming such a big deal. And today, we have 3 cars that show why. The Geely Galaxy E8, the Avatar 07, and the XPeng P7 Plus. These are not tiny city cars designed only to save fuel. These are modern electric vehicles built around performance, technology, software, comfort, and aggressive pricing. And the craziest part is that Chinese manufacturers are no longer simply trying to copy Western cars. They're developing their own designs, their own software, their own battery technology, their own charging systems, and in some areas, they're moving ridiculously fast. Now, one important thing before we go any further. When I say these cars are coming to the world, that doesn't mean every version is officially available in America or every country today. International availability depends on regulations, tariffs, homologation, local dealerships, and company strategy. But the expansion is real. XPeng, for example, announced that the P7 would begin European deliveries in April 2026 across 25 European markets, with a reference starting price of 43,990 euros in Spain, Portugal, and Italy. So this isn't just a China-only conversation anymore. And that is exactly what makes these cars interesting. Because once they enter more international markets, buyers are going to start asking a very uncomfortable question. Why am I paying so much more for a familiar badge? And that's where things get crazy. So subscribe to Car Lust. Seriously, it takes one click. Every video takes a lot of research, writing, editing, footage hunting, and time to put together. Your one click helps turn all that effort into something worthwhile. So if you enjoyed discovering cars before everybody else starts talking about them, subscribe to Car Lust. Now let's start with the Geely Galaxy E8. And trust me, this thing does not look like a cheap EV. The first time you see the Galaxy E8, the design immediately tells you that Geely wasn't interested in making another boring electric sedan. This thing is sleek, low, wide, and futuristic. The front end has an extremely clean appearance with a lighting signature that stretches across the body and gives the car a much wider visual stance. And because it's electric, Geely doesn't need a traditional giant grille. Instead, the front is shaped around aerodynamics and lighting. The result is a sedan that looks like something designed for a science fiction movie. And here's where the numbers become interesting. The Galaxy E8 is about 5,010 millimeters long, 1,920 millimeters wide, and 1,465 millimeters tall, with a 2,925 millimeter wheelbase. That's a serious amount of car. For comparison, you're looking at a vehicle that occupies the same general road space as many larger premium sedans. But the E8 doesn't visually feel like a giant limousine. Its low roof, smooth surfaces, and fastback-inspired profile make it look much more athletic. And then there are the wheels. Depending on the version, Geely offers 19-inch or 20-inch wheels, giving the car an even more aggressive stance. But the real trick is underneath. The Galaxy E8 is built around an electric architecture designed to deliver both efficiency and performance. The current Chinese lineup includes versions with claimed CLTC ranges of 575, 610, and 700 kilometers, depending on configuration. And yes, before somebody jumps into the comments and says, 700 kilometers, no way. Remember, those are Chinese CLTC figures. Real-world range will be lower depending on temperature, speed, traffic, road conditions, air conditioning, and driving style. But even after adjusting expectations, the range capability is impressive. And then Geely throws in fast charging. The official specifications list roughly 20 minutes for a 30 to 80% DC charging session on the applicable versions, while the higher-end laser radar all-wheel drive version is advertised with the ability to add around 200 kilometers of claimed range in 5 minutes under the specified charging conditions. 5 minutes. That's the number that gets people's attention. Imagine stopping at a charging station, grabbing a coffee, checking your phone, and coming back to a meaningful amount of additional range. That's the direction EV charging is heading. Now let's talk about performance. The E8 isn't some slow eco-mobile. The rear-wheel drive versions use a powerful electric motor producing up to around 250 kilowatts and 373 newton-meters of torque. That is approximately 335 horsepower. And because electric motors deliver torque almost instantly, the acceleration response is immediate. You press the accelerator and the car doesn't need to downshift. There is no waiting for the turbocharger, no transmission searching for the correct gear, just instant electric shove. And that is one of the reasons EVs can feel so different from gasoline cars. A BMW 3 Series might give you a beautifully engineered engine and transmission. A Mercedes C-Class might give you refinement, but the Galaxy E8 gives you that silent electric punch almost instantly. And then you get inside. This is where Geely starts showing off. The Galaxy E8 has a 45-inch 8K smart display stretching across the dashboard. 45 inches! That's not a screen. That's basically a small television mounted inside your car. Geely also uses its Flyme Auto intelligent cockpit system and offers features like a large AR head-up display on higher trims. And this is where the Chinese EV philosophy becomes obvious. Instead of giving you a tiny screen and charging extra for every little feature, they are loading the cabin with technology. The interior is clean and minimalistic. The dashboard doesn't feel cluttered with buttons. The screens dominate the experience. The seats can offer heating, ventilation, and massage depending on trim. Higher versions also offer a 23-speaker audio system. And suddenly, you're sitting in a Chinese electric sedan that costs dramatically less in its home market than many premium European alternatives. The official Chinese pricing currently starts around 149,800 RMB and reaches about 198,800 RMB depending on version. That's roughly the price territory where the value proposition becomes difficult to ignore. Of course, you cannot simply convert that Chinese price into a guaranteed UK, Canadian, or American retail price. Taxes, tariffs, shipping, homologation, dealer costs, and local specifications can completely change the final number. But the underlying point remains. Geely is demonstrating that this level of technology can be produced at a very aggressive price. And that's what makes the Galaxy E8 dangerous. It's not trying to be the world's most expensive luxury sedan. It's trying to give ordinary buyers a taste of technology that used to belong to expensive cars. Now imagine driving this every day. You have a huge cabin, a quiet electric drivetrain, a large trunk, fast charging, long claimed range, a giant display, driver assistance, and enough performance to make some German sedans look a little nervous. That's the ownership experience. It's practical, it's comfortable, it's modern, and most importantly, it doesn't feel like you're buying an electric car just because you want to save money on fuel. It feels like you're buying a technology product that happens to have 4 wheels. And that's exactly what makes the Galaxy E8 our first warning shot. But we're only getting started, because the second vehicle takes the same Chinese technology formula and throws it into a luxury SUV. And this is where things really get interesting. Meet the Avatar 07. Now this one is completely different. The Galaxy E8 is sleek and low. The Avatar 07 is upright, muscular, and designed to make a much bigger visual statement.
This thing looks expensive, and that's not an accident. Avatar positions the 07 as an urban luxury SUV, and the design is clearly aimed at buyers who might normally look at something like a BMW X3, Mercedes GLC, Audi Q5, or Volvo XC60. But the Avatar doesn't look like any of them. The front has what they call a UFO-inspired design, and honestly, that's pretty accurate. The headlights and light strips give it a futuristic face, while the smooth bodywork keeps it aerodynamic.
The official dimensions are around 4,825 millimeters long, 1,980 millimeters wide, and up to 1,620 millimeters tall, with a 2,940 millimeter wheelbase. The drag coefficient is quoted at just 0.259. That's impressive for an SUV. And then you notice the details. Soft closing doors, large forged wheels, electronic exterior mirrors on some configurations, flush-style door handles, full-width lighting. This isn't trying to look cheap, it's trying to look like a premium product. Then you open the door, and this is where Avatar goes absolutely crazy. The cabin features what the company calls a 5-screen digital surround setup. There is a massive 35.4-inch panoramic display with 4K resolution. Then there's a 15.6-inch central smart screen, and you can even get separate digital rear-view mirror displays. So you're basically sitting inside a cockpit. And the funny thing is that this isn't even the most ridiculous part. The interior uses Nappa leather, premium suede-style materials, and extensive soft-touch surfaces. Avatar claims the usable interior space exceeds 3,119 millimeters, with rear legroom reaching around 965 millimeters. That's serious space for a vehicle in this class. And then you start looking at the technology. The Avatar 07 uses Huawei-related intelligent vehicle technology, advanced driver assistance hardware, and a sophisticated electronic architecture. The suspension is also far from basic. The vehicle uses double wishbone independent suspension at the front and multi-link suspension at the rear, with intelligent air suspension available depending on configuration. Avatar says the system can provide up to 125 millimeters of suspension height adjustment in its automatic leveling mode. That's not just about looking cool, it can help with comfort, loading, and different road conditions. And now we get to the powertrain. The 07 is offered as both a pure EV and a range-extended electric vehicle. The current EV configuration uses an 82.16 kilowatt-hour battery and an 800-volt silicon carbide platform. Depending on version, the official CLTC range reaches up to 650 kilometers. Charging is where this SUV starts getting ridiculous. Avatar says the platform can accept peak charging power of up to 420 kilowatts, with up to 350 kilometers of claimed range added in 10 minutes under suitable charging conditions. Now obviously, you need a compatible high-power charger to achieve those kinds of numbers, but the technology is there, and that's what matters, because the biggest complaint about EVs has always been charging time. Nobody wants to sit around for an hour while their car charges. The industry knows this. Chinese manufacturers are attacking the problem aggressively. And Avatar isn't stopping at charging. The EV version can produce up to 252 kilowatts in the rear-wheel drive configuration, while the high-performance all-wheel drive version can reach 0 to 100 kilometers in around 3.7 seconds. 3.7 seconds in an SUV. That's faster than plenty of sports cars. Imagine pulling up next to a BMW X3 at a traffic light. The BMW driver hears an electric whine. You press the accelerator, and suddenly the Chinese SUV disappears. That's the part people aren't expecting. For years, the stereotype was that Chinese cars were cheap but slow. That stereotype is becoming increasingly difficult to defend. And then there is the range extender version. This one is particularly interesting for drivers who want electric driving but don't want to worry about charging infrastructure on long trips. The range-extended version combines a battery with a gasoline engine acting as a range extender. The official figures for the current configuration include a 52.01 kilowatt-hour battery, up to 333 kilometers of CLTC pure electric range, and up to around 1,200 kilometers of overall CLTC range depending on version. That means you could potentially do most daily driving electrically and still have the flexibility of a gasoline-supported system for long-distance trips. And that could be extremely attractive in markets where charging networks aren't perfect. Now let's talk price. The current Chinese starting price for the Avatar 07 is around RMB 219,900, with different versions going significantly higher. Again, don't take that Chinese market price and assume that's exactly what you'll pay overseas. It isn't. But compare the equipment: 800-volt technology, large battery, luxury interior, advanced suspension, huge displays, high-speed charging, advanced driver assistance, and in the performance version, 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. This is why the Avatar 07 is so interesting. It isn't competing only on price, it's competing on features. It's basically saying, you want luxury? Here. You want performance? Here. You want technology? Here. You want range? Here. You want a premium-looking SUV? Here. And suddenly, the traditional luxury brands have a problem, because the customer doesn't necessarily care where the car was built. They care what they get for their money. And that's the biggest threat Chinese EV manufacturers represent. Not cheap cars, better value. Now imagine owning the Avatar 07. Your daily commute is quiet, the electric motor is instant, the cabin is packed with screens, the suspension absorbs rough roads, the seats feel like a luxury lounge. You can charge incredibly quickly with the right infrastructure. And when you need more performance, the all-wheel drive version can launch like a sports car. This is not the old image of Chinese automotive manufacturing. This is a completely different game. But if you think the Avatar is impressive, wait until you see the third car, because XPeng looked at the premium electric sedan market and decided to attack it with software, space, artificial intelligence, and one seriously aggressive price. This is the XPeng P7, and this one might be the most important car on the entire list. Why? Because XPeng isn't just trying to sell you an electric sedan, it's trying to sell you an intelligent device on wheels. Look at the P7 Plus. The silhouette is long, low, smooth, and aerodynamic. It's a fastback-style sedan with a huge cabin and a design that looks significantly more expensive than the price suggests. The current P7 Plus measures 5,071 millimeters long, 1,937 millimeters wide, and 1,512 millimeters tall, and the wheelbase is a massive 3,000 millimeters. That's one of the reasons the interior can be so spacious. But the real surprise comes when you open the trunk. The P7 Plus is not just a conventional sedan with a tiny trunk. Depending on configuration, the cargo capacity is listed at roughly 708 liters and can expand to more than 2,200 liters with the rear seats folded. Think about that. A sleek electric fastback that can carry a ridiculous amount of luggage. You could use it for commuting Monday through Friday and then load it up for a road trip on Saturday. That's versatility. Now let's talk about the design. The P7 Plus has a low nose, smooth surfaces, hidden door handles, frameless doors, and a panoramic roof. It looks like the kind of car that should cost much more. And because the body is designed around aerodynamics, XPeng can reduce energy consumption while maintaining that sleek appearance. Then you get inside, and once again, China goes straight for the technology. The cabin is minimalist but premium. Large displays dominate the dashboard. The software is one of the biggest parts of the experience. And this is where XPeng's philosophy becomes obvious. The company isn't just competing against other car manufacturers, it's competing against technology companies. XPeng's newer vehicles use advanced computing hardware and AI-focused systems to power intelligent driving and cockpit functions. The P7 Plus was introduced in Europe as an AI-defined fastback, with XPeng highlighting its Turing intelligent driving chip and fast charging capability. And that phrase tells you everything: AI. The next battle isn't just horsepower, it's computing power. Who can make the car understand the road better? Who can make navigation smarter? Who can automate parking? Who can recognize hazards? Who can make the interface easier? Who can update the vehicle with software after you buy it? That's the future, and XPeng wants to be one of the companies controlling it. Now let's talk range. The 2026 Chinese P7 Plus lineup includes both pure EV and extended range versions. The pure electric models use batteries up to 74.96 kilowatt-hours, and the listed CLTC range reaches as high as 725 kilometers, depending on configuration. Again, CLTC is an optimistic test cycle. Don't expect to drive 725 kilometers at 130 kilometers per hour with the air conditioner blasting and arrive with 30% battery remaining. Real-world range will be lower, but the underlying efficiency is still impressive. And then there's charging. XPeng says the P7 Plus can use its fast charging system to deliver a substantial range increase in a very short time, with the European launch emphasizing a 12-minute fast charging capability. That's the kind of number that changes the road trip experience. Because if charging becomes closer to the time it takes to use a bathroom, grab a drink, and stretch your legs, the biggest psychological barrier to EV ownership starts disappearing. And then there is performance. The XPeng P7 is not built as an extreme sports car. Its mission is different. It's supposed to...
That's actually a smart strategy, because most people don't need a 1,000 horsepower sedan. They need a car that is comfortable Monday morning, efficient on Wednesday, practical on Friday, and capable of taking the family on a road trip Sunday. And the P7 Plus understands that. It's an everyday luxury EV. The current Chinese lineup also offers an extended range configuration, which means buyers who don't want to depend entirely on public charging can choose a system with a gasoline range extender. That's another example of Chinese manufacturers being flexible. Instead of saying everyone must immediately move to pure electric, they're offering multiple approaches. And now we get to the price. The Chinese market 2026 P7 Plus is listed from around RMB 186,800, with higher versions around RMB 198,800. That's the number that makes people sit up. Because this is not a tiny hatchback. This is a 5-seat fastback over 5 meters long with a 3-meter wheelbase, huge cargo capacity, advanced technology, long claimed range, fast charging, and premium equipment. And XPeng is already taking the P7 Plus beyond China. The European reference price starts at 43,990 euros in selected markets for the RWD standard range version, before local variations in taxes and specifications. XPeng says deliveries began across 25 European markets in 2026. That makes this car much more than a theoretical Chinese EV. It's becoming a real international competitor. And this is where I want you to think about something. Imagine you're shopping for an electric car. You walk into a BMW dealership. You look at an electric sedan. Then you walk into an XPeng dealership. You sit inside the P7 Plus. You see the technology. You see the space. You look at the price. And suddenly, you have a decision to make. Do you pay extra for the badge? Or do you buy the car that gives you more equipment for the money? That is exactly the question Chinese manufacturers want consumers asking. Now, are these cars perfect? Absolutely not. Let's be realistic. International buyers still have concerns: brand reputation, dealer networks, parts availability, resale value, software localization, charging infrastructure, insurance, repair support, and long-term reliability outside China. Those are legitimate questions. A BMW has decades of international dealer infrastructure. Mercedes has dealerships everywhere. Tesla has built an enormous global charging and service ecosystem. Chinese brands still have work to do in many markets. And that's where the owner experience becomes important. Buying a car isn't just about the first day. It's about what happens 3 years later. Can you get replacement parts? Can a local technician repair it? Does the software continue receiving updates? How much does the battery degrade? What's the resale value? How easy is it to insure? Those questions will determine whether Chinese EVs become temporary curiosities or permanent global competitors. But here's the thing. Every major automotive manufacturer has to start somewhere, and Chinese brands are improving incredibly quickly. 10 years ago, many people would have laughed at the idea of a Chinese car competing seriously against BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, Tesla, or Land Rover. Today, we're having that conversation seriously, and that's why these three cars matter. The Geely Galaxy E8 shows how much electric performance and technology can be packed into an affordable sedan. The Avatar 07 shows how Chinese manufacturers are attacking the premium SUV market with luxury, advanced suspension, fast charging, and serious performance. And the XPeng P7 Plus shows where the next battle is going. Software, AI, charging speed, space, efficiency, and value. Now I want to hear from you. If these three cars were available in your country tomorrow, which one would you choose? The futuristic Geely Galaxy E8, the luxury and performance-focused Avatar 07, or the technology-packed XPeng P7 Plus? And here's the bigger question. Would you choose one of these over a Tesla, over a BMW, over a Mercedes? Or would you still trust the established brands? Comment below, because I genuinely want to know. And if you're watching from the UK, Canada, Europe, or anywhere else outside China, tell me which Chinese EV you would actually consider buying. Because the global EV market is changing fast. The old formula was simple. Want luxury? Buy German. Want reliability? Buy Japanese. Want electric? Buy Tesla. But now there is another answer. Look at China. And that is why the automotive industry is paying attention. These companies are bringing massive batteries, faster charging, intelligent software, futuristic interiors, aggressive pricing, and serious performance into cars that ordinary buyers can actually dream about owning. The Geely Galaxy E8 doesn't need to be the fastest car in the world. The Avatar 07 doesn't need to destroy every BMW. The XPeng P7 Plus doesn't need to replace Tesla overnight. They just need to offer enough value to make consumers think twice. And that's exactly where the danger begins for the established brands. Because competition doesn't have to destroy the old companies. It simply has to make customers question them. Why pay more? Why accept less technology? Why wait longer to charge? Why settle for a smaller battery? Why accept fewer features? And most importantly, why pay thousands more just for the badge? That's the question Chinese EV manufacturers are putting on the table. And if these cars continue expanding into international markets, we're going to see some very interesting battles. Tesla versus XPeng, BMW versus Geely, Mercedes versus Avatar. And the winner? It might not be the company with the oldest logo. It might be the company that gives customers the most convincing reason to switch. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to CarLust. Seriously, that one click means a lot. It takes a huge amount of effort to research these cars, write the script, find the information, edit the footage, and put the entire video together. Your subscription helps support that work and tells us you want more videos like this. So subscribe to CarLust and stay with us, because we're going to keep looking at the cars that could completely change the automotive industry. And remember, the electric car revolution isn't waiting for everybody to be ready. It's already happening. And China isn't knocking on the door anymore. It's already inside.